GetAgent, Parasite or Saviour of the estate agency industry. Today, I'm joined by Colby, who is the co-founder of GetAgent. You get a room full of estate agents, and some will say that GetAgent is a parasite on the industry, stripping money out of estate agents' pockets. Some love them to bits. Today, I'm joined by Colby, who's the co-founder and CEO of GetAgent. Colby, I've got some questions that people have sent in, but before I do that, in a succinct, no more than 4 or 5 sentences, what could you describe to me what GetAgent is, just in case someone who's watching this doesn't know what it is?
Okay, so GetAgent, we are an estate agent comparison site, but rather than comparing estate agent based on reviews, we compare estate agents based on performance statistics. So every day our systems index Rightmove, Zoopla on the market, look at land registry data and compile an objective measure of estate agent performance. 18,000 to 20,000 vendors a month come through our website. They ask us to show them who the best estate agents are for their property in their area. We show them the top 7 agents in their area, regardless of whether those estate agents work with us or not. And that calculation is based on number of properties sold near that vendor, percentage of asking price achieved, and average time of sale, at which point a vendor can click to book a valuation from one of the top agents on the shortlist, and we then introduce the vendor to the estate agent. If the estate agent successfully sells the property, they pay us a commission on completion of sale.
So it's a bit like Just Eat, where you can go in, look at which restaurants you want to go for, and we all know Just Eat take a small commission or a large commission, depending on which way you look at it, from the restaurants. You're kind of doing the same. But I know you get charged separate only on completion, but fundamentally that's it.
Yeah.
Using my language.
Yeah. So like the reason why I hesitate is because I think there is a very important distinction, which is Just Eat is based on reviews. And for food, I get it, because people eat quite a lot. They can say if it's good food or bad food. Whereas people sell a home very rarely, and oftentimes people are selling different types of, if they're selling a home for the second time, it's often a different type of home in a different area, in a different market. So no one really builds up a big enough kind of experience to be able to choose an estate agent in a really, really well-informed kind of manner. So that's the big difference. We use data to show who the best agents are.
Okay, so what data do you measure estate agents on?
So the 3 main metrics we use is the number of properties an agent has sold near you. So Chris, if you put your castle in the GetAgent website, we would look at a half-mile radius around your property. We'd look at how many agents have listed, how many properties agents have listed within that radius in the last 6 months. And that's one of the metrics that we use. The second is time to agree a sale. So that's from listing to sold subject to contract. And the third is the percentage of asking price they achieved. So that's the initial listing price versus the land registry input. So these are the 3 main metrics we use. We display those to vendors alongside the fee. And even though we're not fee focused, vendors like to see agents' fees. And then vendors can decide who to invite round for evaluation. But then obviously once the agent's in the door, the agent has to do their bit. The agent has to negotiate a fee. The agent has to explain to the vendor why of the 3, the vendor should choose them. But oftentimes the really big thing is getting your foot in the door, because vendors just don't seem to know how to choose a really good estate agent. And they often make the biggest mistake when they're deciding which 3 to get through the door.
If I was an agent that wanted to take up your services, what would it cost me as a subscription then?
So the main GetAgent product is completely free upfront. So there's no upfront fees, no listing fees, no subscription fees. If we refer a property to you that you sell, you pay us 0.25% of the property price on completion. So for estate agents who are looking to kind of grow their business, from a cash flow perspective, it's great. If you've got a marketing budget, working with GetAgent isn't an either or, it's an kind of as well. So for example, we have a referral agreement with kind of which money saving expert who pay us on completion. If they want to send me an extra 1,000 vendors a month, happy days, because I don't have to pay them anymore until I get paid myself. So that's how we work. It's payment on completion.
What if an estate agent disagrees with the data that's on the website?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So we do get vendors who are disagreeing with the data that's on the website. Sorry, agents who are disagreeing. And oftentimes there may be some confusion around what the data is actually showing. And once we go through that with the agent, it becomes clear why our data maybe is different to theirs. So for example, properties listed, we do it in terms of half a mile around the vendor's house, not how many properties the agent listed in their area, etc.
Yeah, so if I was in Grantham, it wouldn't be the whole of Grantham, it would be just a half a mile radius around my town, which would be different to the whole of Grantham.
Exactly. But look, if an agent has, GetAgent, we're really, really passionate about providing kind of objective and correct data. So if an agent has any concerns that the data is incorrect, then we would love them to reach out to us and we will investigate that. And kind of, if we notice any issues, we'll rectify those.
There are some agents who do not want to use you. However, their details appear on the website and I believe that even if there's 30 estate agents in the town, how many always appear on your front page?
7.
7. Obviously, if they're up there, if they're in that list, it shows that they're good, because if they weren't, there's almost a point to say if you're not on the list, you want to start worrying. But let's just say I do appear on that list. Can I opt out of that?
No. So every estate agent in the country is on our website, apart from the traditional online estate agents. I probably shouldn't use the word traditional, but I mean the kind of the OGs, the Strikes, the Opas, etc. Every proper estate agent, let's call them that, is on the website. And that's really important, because ultimately, if the whole premise of GetAgent is we show who's the best, we need to show who's the best out of all of the agents, not who's the best out of the 7 that want to be on our website in that area. So we use publicly available data. Nothing is we don't use anything that's kind of copyrighted or anything. So every agent is on the website.
Okay. So there's 30 estate agents in the town and only 7 estate agents, the best, using the different metrics that are on there. Let's just say, for argument's sake, there are 5 estate agents who have decided to use your services. And I know it's a pay-as-you-go service. But there are 7 other estate agents who don't pay for your service but have better stats. Will the fact that they've signed up mean that they go onto that list of 7?
Never.
So you're telling me that even though they've paid to have the facility of the leads coming through, and I know you only pay on completion, so we'll just say that for the record, that doesn't guarantee, you still got to be in the top 7 to be there, and if they're not there, then they won't be there.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, look, GetAgent, we're a marketplace, so we need to create a product that works for vendors. Otherwise, we'll never have anything to give agents and we'll never make any money. It doesn't work as a product for agents. Look, in fact, let's take a step back.
Although you do have the sponsorship function.
We do have the sponsorship, so I'll come to that in a sec, because even the way we do that is data driven. There have been so many estate agent comparison sites cropping up over the years. And as of today, there's GetAgent, there's NetAgent, but I think GetAgent is far and away the biggest that's there. What is the fundamental thing that we have done differently to any other estate agent comparison site is we've never compromised on that objectivity, because you have to create a product that is good for vendors, because otherwise they won't use you. Mm-hmm. So we never compromise on that. We always show the top 7 agents, regardless of whether they work with us or not. You mentioned the sponsored slot. So just like Google does, we have the ability to pay to advertise on the GetAgent website. And I understand why that may sound like I'm going against what I just said. So
it does say sponsored at the top, though.
It very clearly says sponsored.
Because you did have a pair of stinging legs on that at the back end of last year with the ASCA, but I've noticed the website has changed, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, and we changed it as soon as kind of we had the feedback on that. It does say sponsored, it's very clearly outlined.
Yes.
The sponsored slot means that an agent can pay to appear on a shortlist in that outcode. But we still have the stats. So we make it clear that it's sponsored, but if you're you're still held accountable based on your quality, the quality of your performance. So you could pay to go, and we have people who pay to go on there. Their stats aren't very good. No surprise, 6 months later, they ask to come off because it just doesn't work. It's not a case of paying to be able to pull the wool over agents' eyes or sorry, vendors' eyes. It's a case of you can pay to be kind of highlighted, but you will still be held accountable fully by the quality of your performance.
I'll give you that.
Key.
Another query is, what if a person's an old client or I've been talking to them? What's your, where does estate agents stand on that one?
Yeah. So, first of all, the user experience for a vendor coming to our website is to see the short list of estate agents. The vendor needs to give us their name, number, email address, home address. There's quite a lot that we ask from a vendor in order for them to see the short list of the top estate agents.
Yes.
So generally speaking, everyone who comes to our website and gets to the point where they're seeing the short list of estate agents is there for a reason to compare estate agent performance. So it should be very rare that we get somebody coming to that point who is already fully committed to using one agent or another, right? So if we have a vendor come through to our website and we introduce them and they see the agent stats on our website and they ask us to introduce them to that agent, very, very rarely is the estate agent already in contact with that vendor, because otherwise the vendor would just contact them themselves if they already have the number. But we do get it sometimes. And the way we work is that regardless of the engagement we have with the vendor, they may even tell us that they wouldn't have used the estate agent and now they're going to use the estate agent. If you've been in contact with that vendor in the 28 days prior to our introduction, we won't charge you at all.
Is that new?
No, we've done that for 8 years.
So just get this straight. If I can prove to you, I'm assuming date stamped CRM, which you can't change because, if I can prove to you that I've had it's got to be two-way communication, hasn't it? A leaflet ain't going to, doesn't
No, so it needs to show that the vendor has also engaged with you.
Yeah. Okay. So telephone call, date stamped on the CRM, which you can't backdate, saying spoke with Mr. and Mrs. Again, estate agents are crap at making notes. Here's a great one for you kids. Put your notes in. And it's a lot. Well, 28 days. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
28. If it was a week, pushing it, but 28 is fair. If they haven't rang you in 28 days, then they don't deserve it, do they?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair, but I think that regardless of whether it's fair or not, you have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. So, for example, even if a vendor came through to our website, they spoke to our client services team, they told us I wasn't going to use agent X because I wasn't convinced by their sales presentation, but now that I've spoken to you and seen them on your website, I am going to use them. We know that we've added value. We know that we've driven that instruction, but we still wouldn't charge for it because of the 28-day rule. Final
question. People put their details in, but then don't follow through with the valuation. I'm probably guessing 1 in 4, 1 in 5 actually follow through with hit the word valuation.
Yeah. So initially 20%, 1 in 5 click to book a valuation.
And how many do you recommend that vals should they get out?
We recommend 3.
And so you go in, pick one estate agent. You've already filled your details in, and it'll say, "Do you want to book any more?"
It would say valuation requested, but the rest of the shortlist would have stayed the same. So you can click each line.
And do you come up with a little line that says, "Do you want to book any more?" or something like
that? Yes.
And it recommends 3. Right. What about the ones that don't fill in their detail, that don't request a val? What do you do with those?
So we have a client services team in our headquarters because it's a really important team to us. They call about 15,000 vendors every single month, talking to them about the importance of choosing a good estate agent and trying to generate valuations for the agents that GetAgent work with.
I think those are all the questions I've got. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your honesty. Cheers.